The dangerous part of a heat dome isn't just the daytime peak, it's the total lack of nighttime recovery. Here is your clear operational game plan for the next 48 hours as extreme thermal pressure builds across the region. A massive high-pressure system has anchored itself across the central and eastern states, pushing afternoon temperatures 15 to 20 degrees above seasonal averages. If you stepped outside today and felt that immediate wall of heavy stagnant air, you're experiencing the direct mechanical force of an expanding atmospheric heat dome. Official bulletins from the National Weather Service confirm that excessive heat warnings and heat advisories now stretch across more than a dozen states, impacting tens of millions of residents. According to forecasters at NOAA, what makes this specific weather pattern severe is not merely the daytime readings reaching the upper 90s and triple digits, but the persistent absence of overnight relief as relative humidity remains exceptionally high. To understand why the system remains stagnant, we must examine the upper-level atmospheric structure. A strong ridge of high pressure in the upper troposphere acts like a heavy, rigid lid placed over a heating vessel. Beneath this high-pressure ridge, air is forced downward toward the Earth's surface. As air sinks, it compresses, and as it compresses, its thermal energy increases significantly. This continuous downward pressure suppresses cloud formation, allowing uninterrupted solar radiation to bake the ground hour after hour. The dry, heated ground then radiates that warmth directly back into the boundary layer of the atmosphere, creating a self-reinforcing feedback loop that intensifies daily. Data from NOAA indicates that this sinking air motion also traps ground-level moisture, industrial emissions, and stagnant air, turning local environmental conditions increasingly uncomfortable and hazardous. When high pressure anchors in this fashion, jet stream weather fronts that would normally bring cooler air masses, rain showers, or wind shifts are deflected far to the north. The jet stream is forced to flow around this massive bubble of dense air, creating what meteorologists call a persistent atmospheric block. Consequently, surface weather conditions remain static across multiple regions. Day after day brings identical conditions: intense morning sun, rapid midday warming, oppressive afternoon humidity, and exceptionally warm evening hours. In addition to upper-level compression, surface winds under an atmospheric heat dome are typically light and disorganized. Without a strong regional wind field to circulate air masses, local air pollutants accumulate rapidly. Ground-level ozone formation accelerates under intense sunlight and elevated temperatures, leading to degraded air quality across major metropolitan centers. Environmental monitoring agencies frequently issue air quality alerts in conjunction with high-temperature warnings under these conditions. This prolonged atmospheric stability creates severe operational stress across community infrastructure. Municipal power grids face sustained peak demand as residential and commercial air conditioning units run continuously. Energy grid operators actively monitor electrical reserve margins, especially between 2 in the afternoon and 8 in the evening when total grid load reaches its daily maximum. Substation transformers experience elevated thermal stress during these episodes because high ambient air temperatures during the day, combined with elevated overnight lows, prevent electrical components from cooling down adequately between peak operating periods. In urban centers, the impact of an atmospheric heat dome is amplified by the built environment. Concrete, asphalt, brick, and dark roofing materials absorb vast amounts of solar radiation throughout the day and gradually release that thermal energy during nighttime hours. Weather observations from the National Weather Service indicate that urban center surface temperatures can remain 10 to 15 degrees higher overnight compared to nearby rural pastures and forested terrain. This urban heat island phenomenon prevents natural cooling, forcing residential heat pumps and commercial chillers to maintain continuous high output around the clock. Agriculture and livestock operations also face distinct operational challenges under an established atmospheric heat dome. Soil moisture depletes rapidly under constant solar radiation and elevated atmospheric evaporative demand, straining dryland crops like corn and soybeans, while increasing irrigation requirements for agricultural producers. Livestock managers must implement active thermal mitigation measures, such as supplemental misting systems, shade structures, and continuous water trough circulation because farm animals suffer severe stress when nighttime temperatures fail to drop below critical physiological recovery thresholds. Water supply infrastructure experiences secondary pressures as municipal consumption rises rapidly. Lawn irrigation, swimming pool maintenance, and increased domestic water usage combine with higher evaporation rates at municipal reservoirs. Local water utility directors often issue voluntary or mandatory water conservation notices to maintain necessary system pressure for domestic fire protection and municipal water distribution networks. Standard heat index charts often focus purely on daytime highs, but the real structural vulnerability lies in cumulative nocturnal elevation. When ambient air fails to drop below 80 degrees for consecutive nights, building materials retain heat, cooling systems run continuously without thermal relief, and human physiological recovery drops significantly. That persistent baseline elevated load rather than single peak daily readings is what quietly overtaxes neighborhood electrical transformers and community infrastructure. Looking at the multi-day weather forecast provided by National Atmospheric Modeling, this high-pressure ridge is expected to shift very slowly over the next 48 to 72 hours. Meteorological computer models show the core of highest upper-level heights sliding slightly eastward, maintaining strong atmospheric compression over major river valleys and coastal plains. Humidity values will remain elevated due to continuous southerly wind flow drawing warm moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. When high relative humidity combines with air temperatures in the middle to upper 90s, calculated heat index values, or what the atmospheric environment actually feels like to human skin, can easily climb into the 105 to 110 degree range. Because heat index values represent the combined effect of air temperature and relative humidity, understanding the atmospheric dew point is essential. Dew points staying in the low to mid-70s indicate an atmosphere saturated with moisture, which severely reduces the natural efficiency of human sweat evaporation. When sweat cannot evaporate effectively from the skin, the human body loses its primary natural mechanism for internal thermal regulation. This is why official meteorological warnings emphasize remaining in air-conditioned environments during the hottest hours of the day. Now let us go over your direct execution plan to handle these environmental conditions over the next 48 hours. First, pre-cool your living space early in the morning hours. Lower your thermostat settings between 6 and 9 in the morning when the electrical grid is operating under lower baseline demand. Close all window blinds, thermal curtains, and window shades on the south and west, facing sides of your home before noon to block direct solar radiation from penetrating your interior living areas. Second, adjust household energy consumption during peak grid stress windows. Postpone operating high-wattage home appliances such as clothes dryers, dishwashers, and electric ovens between 2 in the afternoon and 8 in the evening. Running these appliances adds unnecessary thermal load inside your home while contributing to regional power grid strain. Third, maintain proactive personal hydration and monitor essential mechanical equipment. Do not wait until you feel thirsty to drink water, as thirst is a delayed biological indicator of fluid loss. If you must work outdoors, schedule heavy physical tasks for early morning hours, take frequent rest breaks in shaded areas, and verify that your vehicle tire pressures are at recommended manufacturer specifications, as hot road surface pavement significantly increases the risk of tire blowouts. Fourth, perform targeted community safety checks within your neighborhood. Reach out directly to elderly family members, neighbors who live alone, and individuals without functional home air conditioning units. Ensure that domestic pets have continuous access to fresh water and shaded ground, and never leave pets or children in parked vehicles under any circumstances, as internal vehicle temperatures can rise 30 degrees in less than 10 minutes. As this atmospheric weather pattern continues to evolve across the region, staying informed through verified weather updates is your best operational advantage. Drop your current city location and current local temperature reading in the comments section below so we can track localized weather conditions across our reporting area in real time. Make sure to click the subscribe button for clear, objective atmospheric reports delivered without sensationalism. Thank you for watching Red Sky Report. Stay dry, stay ready.